Sure. Some new information on crime in America, and gun rights supporters are taking note. You might recall the Supreme Court struck down strict handgun bans that were in place in Chicago and Washington, D.C. At the time, Chicago's mayor predicted the streets would look like the Wild West. So is that happening? William LaJeunesse live in Los Angeles for us. William?
Well, John, as you know, conventional wisdom holds that more guns means more crime, and that's what many predicted after the court in a 5-4 decision ruled that Americans do have a constitutional right to own a firearm. And yet, while gun ownership is at an all-time high, crime is down.
I knew he was out there, and so I got my gun out of a drawer, went around there and let him have it.
82-year-old Charles Robbins took things into his own hands when a burglar tried breaking into his Florida home. Many predicted incidents like this would increase after the Supreme Court overturned gun bans in Chicago and Washington, D.C.
More handguns in the District of Columbia will only lead to more handgun violence.
But so far, statistics say something else.
Murder rates have fallen nationally, but nowhere near close to the huge drop that we've seen in D.C. or now we've been seeing in Chicago.
In Chicago and Washington, the homicide, violent, and property crime rates all fell after the Supreme Court's decisions that upheld an individual's right to own a gun.
Letting people be able to go and defend themselves helps deter criminals from attacking.
There's a lot of data out there, and you got to be careful about confusing what's going on out there.
Anti-gun advocates say national crime rates have continued falling for a variety of reasons and believe the harm associated with guns far outweigh their benefit. Their most recent case in point, the school shooting in Ohio.
We do have still 30,000 gun deaths a year, and what's interesting is there's also a trend that there are more gun injuries.
Now, homicide is down, he argues, because more gunshot victims survive. But gun advocates argue that crime is down because when law-abiding people have guns, criminals think twice, John, about using theirs.
William LaJeunesse, interesting. William, thank you.
Well, 4 of America's